This is a GameWatcher.com article titled Paradox Interactive is happy with the progress of Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2. It was posted around 4 hours ago with me reading this by Bogdan Robert Mates? And here I go, I'll start reading. Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2 has had a tumultuous history, to say the least. After several delays, which eventually led to original developer Heartsuit Labs no longer being involved in the project, the title has largely flown under the radar as a new studio whose name has yet to be revealed continues to work on the RPG. This, however, hasn't stopped fans from worrying about the game being cancelled. Paradox Interactive CEO Frederick Wester previously admitted that the publisher was close to shutting down the project before an internal pitch convinced it to continue working on the title alongside a new studio. While the developer's identity remains a mystery, Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2 seems to be coming along well. The new developer is doing quite well, and we are happy with the progress of the project now, but it's still quite some time before we can start talking about release dates, CFO Alexander Bricka, I hope I'm saying that right, Alexander Bricka, said during the company's Q3 interim report live stream. We prefer to give the studio a situation where they can focus fully on the game development, and not having to address fans reaching out to them, so therefore we have so far not disclosed the name of the studio. And we are very happy to keep it that way for some time. That's right, fans. The people who pre-ordered, the people who've supported, the people who've been following, the people who didn't give up. That's right, you don't deserve to know who the new studio is. Because I guess they don't want them to be stressed out by fans asking questions or reaching out to them or being like, hey, you got this, right? So that just tells me they've let down so many people who were looking forward to this. They really have. They've let down so many people with this game so far that they know they don't want to say any more, because if they say any more, they're liars. They lied to us. Like, they're liars. They promoted this game, marketing it with Brian Mitsoda, fired him. They promoted this game with all this other shit. Rick Schaefer's coming back. I think he's still working on the thing. And then they fire Heartsuit Labs. We hear nothing. We hear silence. But they keep saying, it's okay, it's okay. Like, they have Outstar, who, I was a big fan of her, but I'm not gonna lie, since she's been put on as the World of Darkness, community lead or whatever, she can't say anything. Legally, she can't. And it kind of sucks because there are things that they will not tell us, the fans, the people who are going to be paying the money for this game, the people who are faithful to this game, who are supporting and wanting of this game. We do not deserve, to these people, we don't deserve to know the truth of what studio is working on this, of where the game's at, of what's happening. We don't deserve to know. And to me, that's been insulting. That is very insulting, especially as a World of Darkness fan, especially as a fan of the tabletop series. And we've seen this IP passed around. We've gotten promises from that World of Darkness MMO. You guys know. You can hear it in my voice, I hope. I am very upset to read that. That really triggered me, as you can tell here. This is my rant. I'm going to rant, though, because this needs to be said by me. I am very insulted by this. I have been reading whatever I can whenever things pop up. I've been trying to follow this game. I was stupid and pre-ordered the collection edition with the freaking statuette of Effie, but I don't deserve to know who the new developer is? No, I guess not. Let's continue with the end of this little, article here. Although knowing that we'll have to wait longer before learning who helms Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2 development will be frustrating for some fans, the fact that the project is progressing well should at least put the... Sorry, reading this with a straight face without laughing is really hard. The fact that the project is progressing well should at least put to rest any worries regarding its cancellation. In other Paradox Interactive news, CEO Frederick Wester has revealed that the company will take a more conservative approach towards externally developed games going forward, shifting focus towards internally developed ones, particularly those belonging to its core franchises. That's basically it. So that basically tells me also at the end here, they're gonna do a conservative approach because they took on this project, they didn't know what the fuck they were doing, they saw money, they saw us, the fans, as little cashbacks. You know, of course they did. They're a gaming studio, and gaming studios do this all the time. Never be fooled. You know, when Cyberpunk came out, I didn't really talk about this, but when Cyberpunk came out, it was awful. It's still awful. I still try to play that game. It's awful. And I don't blame the devs. I don't blame the people who play tested it. I don't blame the people who tried their best to give us, the fans, the people who they knew would be wanting this, the best they could give. I blame management. I blame, like, you know, the higher ups. And this is what this is. How the fact that the CEO and the CFO are both sitting here saying, well, we're not going to say anything and we're never going to touch something like this again, shows me they don't know what the they were doing with this IP. They never knew what the they were doing. They had some guys come in with a dream, they pitched it, and they handed it off to Hardsuit Labs. And when I told my significant other Hardsuit Labs was in charge of this, he looked at me. He looked me square in the face. He said, Mal, malicious, that's not good. And I said, what? I don't know much about Hardsuit Labs. And he just looked at me and he started laughing. He's like, they make FPS games, and the one they did make isn't even that good. And when he told me that, I felt my stomach just sink. But Brian Mitsuda was working on this game, so I had hope. You know, I had hope. Then he got fired. And I follow Brian on Twitter, and when I saw his Twitter post after that happened, I felt my heart hurt, because even before Vampire, like, the things he's worked on, he's just such a good writer, guys. And the way they used him upset me, because I'm someone with social anxiety, super bad. And I could tell he was super anxious and not comfortable in front of that camera. I remember reading comments where people would be like, why is he wearing those fingerless gloves? They're so stupid, blah, blah, blah. He looks so, you know, uncomfortable. Why is he here? And I would sit there like, why are you guys ripping on him? It's obvious he's doing this because he's being like, Brian, go. Brian, they're all here for you, right? Like, he's a marketing tool. And he loved the game enough to do that, to put himself out there and try. And they fired him. It just blows my mind how this IP is cursed. I feel like everyone who gets their hands on it just doesn't know what to do with it. And it's like, it's not that difficult, guys. You already had pieces to your puzzle, and you broke the puzzle. And now you're trying to scramble what little fragments you have left, as though it's gonna make anything better for us, the fans. And we'll take it, we'll eat. It's like they're gonna hand us a plate of and we're just gonna stuff our faces with it and be like, please, sir, may I have some more? And it's gross. It's really gross. And my heart hurts. You know, my heart hurts, guys, because I feel like if I support this at this point, if I buy this game, if I give in to this, I'm going to be eating that plate of right? It just really sucks. I don't know what else to say about it, but it sucks. I'll link this article. Thanks for listening to me rant, if you listen to me rant. Yeah, this one was a bummer to read. This bummed me out.
Maggots love you, but not as much as I do. Love, your malicious corp.
Probably didn't do that as well as I usually do, but I am feeling a bit bummed out. Enjoy your nights, your evenings, your days. And I'll keep making videos about what's happening with this game whenever I get news I feel worth making videos about.